Round number 10 of 14 at Watkins Glen. The Porsche pace car peels off. 14 brave drivers kick off this race, and we're racing at Watkins Glen. Jacob Bradley, Aaron Edwards off to a quick start into turn number 1. Everyone trying to file through and just try to make it A-OK. They make it clean and green through the first couple of corners, and it's up the S's. And so far, it's the defending champion, Jacob Bradley. There have been no repeat winners at Watkins Glen, and Jacob Bradley aims to be the first. Matt Seeger's in second. Aaron Edwards is in third. The Silverstone winner, Josh Gaiman. Yeah, that's right, Silverstone. If you didn't watch earlier, our second of 2 road course races was at Silverstone. Josh Gaiman took home the gold medal in that one. Jacob Bradley looking to do the same here with a 1:16.76. He's got a 0.8 of a second lead over Matt Seeger. Aaron Edwards sits in second. On board with Georgia's Matt Seeger, you saw him catch a piece of that, a piece of the wall, the bus stop, if you will. He's chasing down the defending champion in that first Thursday Night Thunder win. Aaron Edwards running in third, trying to get another win and get one spot closer to the top. Where were we last week? Michigan, was it? Aaron Edwards on pace to win, and a late caution involving Tommy Withers and Matt Seeger brought Jacob Bradley back to the front of the field. And this was after Bradley had been involved in at least one crash, and we thought his race was just over. Comes back to win, gets his 4th victory of the season. Aaron Edwards now trailing Jacob Bradley. Edwards with 358 points, Bradley with 377. I can't do math. What is that, 19 points? With 5 rounds to go. And there is the points leader. Briley Wright in the number 3 Good Wrench machine trying to chase down Tom Sears in the number 18. The Southampton, Massachusetts driver trying to make his way through. Josh Gaiman's had some trouble, though. Where is car 61? Nowhere to be found. Chuck Sweeting also had a problem. What happened to the North Floridian? There's the 5-7. Oh, he just comes wide out of the carousel, wrecks the race car. One more look at Chuck. And Kevin Feemster followed suit. The Indiana driver comes back after a short spell. And the 17 just gives a love tap to the wall. He's going to be okay. But what happened to Josh Gaiman? Does he lose control up the S's? Oh, he nails the wall going up the S's. This is probably what Landon was talking about in the chat. And the West Virginian decides, you know what? I'm just going to call it quits. He's going to jump to the pits. I thought he was kidding around in practice when he said, if I crash, I'm just going to quit. And Josh Gaiman crashed, and he quit. Man of his word. Shout out to Emily in the chat as well. And all the Colin McDonough fans that are hanging out with us. I still got to fix that YouTube chat. For some reason, the actual names don't show up in YouTube. We'll see if this changes anything. I have no idea. I'm just screwing around with settings at this point. Jacob Bradley keeps on going faster, by the way. 1:11.14 he put in last time around. Matt Seeger 1:11.31 trailing. Richie Catania, Briley Wright, these two getting closer to each other as well, separated by 0.6 of a second. The three car working on another North Floridian. Jason Alexander's crashed. We'll go to that in a moment. That's Briley Wright for the 8th position. He's up 3 places from where he started in the good wrench number 3. Six of the scheduled 45 underway. And Jaco, for those that know, Jason Alexander from Salem, South Carolina, went into turn number 1. And did he come out clean on the other side? No, he did not. Did he take anybody with him? He did not. And a kiss to the wall like that of Kevin Feemster. Where is Kevin Feemster, by the way? He's in 10th. Let's go on board with the 17. Riley Wright, 1/4 of a second ahead of Richie Catania. The 24 has closed back in. And Briley with a bit of a tail whip coming out of that final corner. Richie a 1/2 second behind him. Times are picking up from 5th place on back. Toby Estes went green that last lap. So did Tom Sears, Colin McDonough. If you just tuned in, you have not missed much. And the 24 continues the chase. Colin McDonough's the next driver, kind of on an island by himself. Colin sits 2 seconds behind Tom Sears in the 18. He sits 1.8 seconds ahead of Briley Wright. And over the last 5 laps, you can see that Briley hasn't consistently been chipping into the advantage that the 39 has. At the front, he's not by himself. Jacob Bradley ahead of Matt Seeger by 1.3 seconds. Matt Seeger, 1:11.11 is what he needs to contend with. Jacob Bradley just went purple, by the way. That last lap was the fastest lap of the race. And credit to Matt Seeger, he's only 1/10 off of that mark. Jason Alexander looks like he's gone off the racetrack again. Let's go to the 5-3. This is on lap 6. And the bus stop gets another one. Bradley, Seeger, and Edwards running 1, 2, 3. The Delta Sport cars running 2nd and 3rd and 4th. There's Ethan Winters in the 1-0. Looks like it's had surgery on the front of that thing. The Cincinnati driver. Holding down 4th. He comes into this race 3rd in the point standings. He's got 1 win. And look at that. I think he's the only driver in the top 5 with an average start worse than 6th, but the way he makes up for it, I mean, technically he has a better average finish than both of the top 2, if I'm reading this right. Says something. I have no idea, but it says something. Briley Wright now caught up to Colin McDonough. And the 39 has to play defense. 9 laps into this 45-lap event. Colin. Where does Colin sit in the points, by the way? Let's have a look at Colin McDonough. 7th in the standings. 288 markers to Briley Wright's 319. If he wants to get anywhere near that top 5, this is the race to do it. Noah Belleville is not here. Does not make the roster. He's going to fall outside the top 5 because he's tied with Briley Wright. Colin McDonough's got a great chance to get into the top 5 in points. Jason Alexander has a great chance to get out of everybody's way. The 53 has crashed once again. Oh, Toby Estes will just get away there. You know, credit to Jayco. He's going to keep going. Gotta love it. Gotta respect it. And he'll keep on pushing through. Jacob Bradley now 2.3 seconds ahead of Matt Seeger. You can tell he's now playing the role of the hare. And either Seeger's falling off or Bradley is just pulling further away. And I think it might be both, because Aaron Edwards is now within 3/4 of a second to Matt Seeger. And if Edwards intends on continuing this championship fight, he needs to get around his teammate. The 15 puts the chase on the 16 while the leader runs away with it all. Jacob Bradley 3.4 seconds ahead of Matt Seeger, who's holding on to second by a hair. And Aaron Edwards wants the spot. Further on back, there's an 0.8 of a second gap. Colin McDonough is losing the advantage to Briley Wright. Drivers expected to go 25 to 30 laps on a tank of fuel. Chuck Sweeting, Josh Gaiman out of this race. Jason Alexander still in. Thomas Andrews still in. Catania up to Kevin Feemster. 9th place on the line. 17 ahead of the 24. 13 laps underway. Well, about to be underway. There's Jacob Bradley, now coming out of the carousel. And there's Richie Catania. Looks like the car just got upset out of the final corner. Colin McDonough. Does he have anything left for Briley Wright? Richie Catania now to the port side of Kevin Feemster, 24 around the 17. That's for the 9th position as Colin McDonough saw Briley Wright get around him for 7th. Briley now up 4 places from where he started. Richie up 1 place from where he started. There's everybody's respective gain. Kevin's not done. 17 wants a piece of that. 24 still coming out of turn number 1. Kevin's going to try and make it happen around the outside. Now up the S's. Headed into the bus stop. This is where it gets fun. And the Master Force Ford won't dive into the bus stop to get the DuPont Chevrolet. Catania holds off Feemster for now. Meanwhile, 2nd place to be contested. Matt Seeger and Aaron Edwards. '16 still holds off the 15, a quarter of a second between them. Kevin Feemster behind Richie Catania still. Matt Seeger jumping off of the curbs and still sliding all over the racetrack. He's got a little bit of damage, it looks like, on the left front corner. Aaron Edwards sticks to the inside. Can he make the pass stick? And he will. Aaron Edwards to the 2nd position. Matt Seeger to 3rd. Family Seeger's in the house. Let's get the update on that football score. Completely forgot that the Raiders were playing. So we'll talk about that in a second. My math is right. We're, what, a third of the way through this race? 15 of 45 laps complete. Jacob Bradley has led them all. Matt Seeger, 0.8 of a second behind Aaron Edwards. Colin McDonough trying to get ahead of Briley Wright. I think that was a plume of smoke coming out of the Kentucky driver's car. And McDonough's got a chance to reel him back in. Is that Jason Alexander there? Doing his thing, running in 11th. Haven't said a lot about Massachusetts. Tom Sears, he's in the 6th spot. He's gained 3 places since the green flag flew. Driver's kind of in their groove now. Chuck Sweeting in the house saying he'll be better at Indy. Sick today and shouldn't have started. Chucky, we appreciate the effort, man. Chuck came out, did his thing. And Chuck Sweeting, definitely. If you haven't seen TNT a lot this season, Chuck Sweeting is the sleeper. That's the guy that if you don't keep your eye on him, he will sneak up on you. Which is hard to do because he's in a big pink car, and he will sneak his way through the field up to a podium finish before you know it. Chuck Sweeting is that guy. So he's it's unfortunate he can't finish, but we'll see him back next week in Indianapolis. And then, actually, the Tuesday after that, we'll add a 3rd race to our upcoming events by Drip Diecast. Winter Indy is back. Season number 3. We're going to do it for Dale. I have no idea what that means. It's season 3, number 3. So we're going to do IndyCar racing for Dale. Why not? So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So it's going to be a lot of these clowns as well. Probably a lot of these same names and faces that you've been seeing all season long in season 14. You're probably season 14. What the hell am I thinking? What is this, season 11? We're all over the place. I'm sorry. Anyway, Indy cars coming in, what, a week and a half? These drivers are going to be in it. You'll be there too. Landon's asking about Mazda Mondays. Yes, Mazda Monday will come back in January. That will happen. It's going to be what? It's the 5th season, actually. It'll be the 5th season of Mazda Mondays. We're racing the Mazda MX-5, so I guess we'll do a 5 motif. See what happens with that. Landon's excited, too. 28 laps to go. Jacob Bradley has made this race all about himself because he's extremely selfish and wants to hog all the spotlight by 6.9 seconds at the front of this field. He continues to circulate around the 2.45 mile circuit. I think the race facts say oval. Do they say oval? Yeah, they do. Race facts are a disaster. Don't worry about it. You know what's not a disaster? Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Let's talk about those guys for a second. Your #1 store for NASCAR diecasts. Check them out. I think we have been saying it all year. We've been saying it for 11 seasons strong. They've been with us since day one. Check them out on eBay. Search Drip Diecasts. They are your #1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. Find cars like Tom Sears' machine. You'll definitely find Briley Wright, but in one piece. What happened to Briley? He's definitely going to have to use a fast repair, but this is even before this is 5 laps prior. This is what happened to the 3 car. Thomas Andrews is in one piece. Briley Wright's still in one piece. Where did the front fall off Briley Wright? It has to be at some point here on lap 17, though, presumably. Well, there it is, right there. Can we run that back? Briley Wright. Oh, he just runs it way too wide out of the carousel. And that's it for Briley. So the Greensburg, Kentucky pilot undoubtedly has to use a fast repair. Not the worst timing in the world. He can make it to the end of the race on fuel. Drivers should be able to go 25 to 30 laps. So Briley might have to do a little fuel saving. We'll find out for sure. Second place, though, still to be contested. Aaron Edwards, Matt Seeger, 0.8 of a second apart. 26 laps to go, and the 2 teammates are 10, almost 11 seconds ahead of Ethan Winters. Wide, fast, and we'll probably never see him again. 8 seconds ahead of Aaron Edwards, but, you know, this is racing. Anything can happen. Genuinely anything can happen. Shout out Emily, by the way, giving us the update. The score's still exactly the same. 7-0 Raiders, and there's what? 8:58 to go in the quarter. The gap widening between second and third. It is not an oval. It is a road course, a circuit, anything you like, but definitely not an oval, I can tell you that. It is 2.45 miles. They've been racing here, I think, at the race course since 1956, but someone who knows better than me might be able to tell you that they've been racing since the mid-40s at least on the streets of Watkins Glen, and then the city had enough and said, you know what, have your own race course. So they did. They've been racing here ever since, and pretty much any racing series you can think of has come here. Formula One, obviously NASCAR. I don't know if the modifieds ever ran here, but I know you could take the modifieds here in NASCAR 2005 and 2006, and that was just sweet. That was pretty awesome. It's a race course I've always wanted to go to. I've always wanted to come to this racetrack. It's one of the big road courses that I would have loved to see. And still can. And one thing I've heard is that the party here at Watkins Glen is better than anywhere else. We have not said a word about Toby Estes, by the way. I can't remember saying anything significant about this guy here. Toby is slowly losing the gap to Ethan Winters. Tom Sears has been reeling him in, so 5th place is going to be contested in just a moment. Love that twist on the Amp Energy machine, by the way. Landon, big fan of Toby, big fan of Briley as well, both of them from the same town. Colin McDonough has come into the pits. This won't be for position, but Toby is looking to get around Thomas Andrews into the bus stop. We are going to see green flag pit stops right around this time, by the way. And this will be a good gauge to see if Briley Wright's going to make it on fuel. Thomas Andrews, like a gentleman, lets Toby Estes kindly go around him. Andrews out of New York, right out of Greensburg, Kentucky. Same as Toby Estes. And I'm not sure if Landon's from Greensburg, Kentucky as well. Richie Catania had an incident. Nowhere near Greensburg, Kentucky. Let's see what happened to the 24. A slide, skid, no harm, no foul. And the 24 will keep it pushing. Toby's in. Matt Seeger is in. Toby has sped. Toby Estes speeds in pit road, and that's going to be a black flag for him. Jacob Bradley leads now by 9.5 seconds over Aaron Edwards, and then Ethan Winters is 15 seconds adrift of the 1-5. Edwards is in on lap 23. Drivers coming in on 21, 22 laps of fuel. Briley Wright came in when? Lap 17? What just happened to Jacob Bradley, by the way? What happened to Jacob Bradley? The 50 car coming in hot into turn number 1. You can see the rotors glowing, and the leader goes for a spin. The race leader, the points leader, luckily he doesn't hit anything. But Jacob Bradley goes for a massive spin. He is human after all. And that spin reduces his lead to 17 seconds. But that's because Aaron Edwards has come into the pits. Ethan Winters has not yet. Does the leader come in this time by after showing just that bit of vulnerability? Or does he keep it going? Bradley is in. So the leader decides to come down. Thomas Andrews came down as well. And he's gotten a black flag for speeding. Jacob Bradley, so far, so good. Ethan Winters now coming out of the final corner. He's going to decide to stay out. So Bradley comes in, and Ethan Winters becomes the new leader on lap number 24. Landon says, imagine spinning and having a crazy lead. To be fair, had Aaron Edwards not come in for his pit stop, he would have been right on Jacob Bradley's tail. And as a matter of fact, Aaron Edwards is 1.3 seconds behind Jacob Bradley, and how's that for being right on his tail? 8/10 now counting, coming into the bus stop. Bradley's spin has cost him. Aaron Edwards is now on the hunt. Fight for first. You heard Aaron Edwards strike the railing in the carousel. No damage from what I can see. But Jacob Bradley now on the defense. Edwards pitting on 23, Bradley on 24. Briley Wright has a spin. Edwards is right there. Can Bradley defend? Six-tenths of a second is the gap. Matt Seeger goes purple, 1:11.03. Seeger's got the fastest lap of the race. Love watching the cars just slam down onto the racing surface when they hit the brakes, flying over those curbs, and they upset the cars so much it just throws the weight around and you lose control of the race car. Flying over the curbs, these guys stay put. Half a second still the gap. Aaron Edwards isn't going anywhere. These are the points coming into this round, by the way. $19 markers is the gap. And next week we go to Jacob Bradley's home track where he won last season, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Talladega in 2 weeks. Seven-tenths of a second now the gap. Jacob Bradley starting to get comfortable in that second position. Ethan Winters still hasn't come down for fuel. That's not a normal sound you expect that car to make. Have a listen. Ever so gentle with the race car out of that final corner. He stays out. Tom Sears on lap 27. With a big spin out of turn number 1. And he keeps it pointed in the right direction. Shout out Tommy. Aaron Edwards just put his fastest lap of the race in, 1:11.09. Briley Wright, Richie Catania are going to do battle. Again, the 7th and the 8th position cars. Check this out. Briley throws the 3 in. He's chasing the 24 out of the first corner. Sun gleaming off the race cars, and side by side up the S's. So close. No contact. How about that for contact? Oh, Briley with a big slide out of the hill, and more pieces of race car fly off of the number 3. The Miller number 2 is going to get around Briley Wright. And he's done it now. He's already used a fast repair. And not the way he wanted that to go. So Richie Catania in 7th. Thomas Andrews moves up to 8th by way of Briley Wright's destruction. And he's got to tow that race car back to the pits. That was a hell of a battle, by the way. from those last couple of corners all the way up to the top of the S's. That was awesome. That was spectacular. 16 to go this time by. Bradley just put in his fastest lap of the race, 1:11:04, just not as fast as Matt Seeger. They tied. Look at that. They actually tied for fastest lap. Wonder if Jacob Bradley's going to be able to beat that now. Have a look at the bottom of your screen. We'll see if he can go purple. Matt Seeger right now has the fastest lap. Now 1:11:10. There's Matt Seeger, by the way. $1:11:025. So unofficially, Matt Seeger has that. If we round down to the second digit, 03, and Bradley 04. But knowing the type of race car driver that Jacob Bradley is, he's going to want to get that fast lap and the victory as well. Aaron Edwards hasn't gone anywhere, by the way. He's only 1.2 seconds behind. We've seen Jacob Bradley throw away what was a 9-second lead and only didn't give it up because Aaron Edwards had come into the pits. 15 laps to go. Edwards is still there waiting for a mistake. And shout out Thomas Andrews, by the way. 1:14:33 is his personal best. Maybe it's the track getting faster, but he just put in his fastest lap. And Briley Wright, 1:12:62 is going to be his fastest lap, and he's actually going to be out of this race here after wrecking that race car. So we can have another look at that on lap 24. So his race car's still in one piece here. What happened on, here we go, lap 27. We can run this back. Up the hill. He had an awesome run going through the S's. And that's the second time that that's happened today. I think the first incident, Briley got loose out of the carousel and slammed the wall ahead of Colin McDonough. Speaking of Colin, by the way, he's in 6th. Only 2 seconds behind Tom Sears, and over the last 5 laps, Colin's been trying to reel in the 18 machine. Is it a spin for Jason Alexander? It is. What happened to Jaco? Oh, I think he just went through the drive-off area there. Slowly marching around the racetrack. He's doing his thing. We know this. Jason Alexander is going to secure a top 10 finish, so there's that going for him. Jacob Bradley still only remains 1.2 seconds now ahead of Jacob Bradley. Colin McDonough going up the S's, and Richie Catania slowly coming out of the bus stop. What happened with Richie? Oh, it just comes in way too hot. And way too wide out of the penultimate corner. Richie's going to finish this lap up in the 7th position, up 3 places from where he started. Tom Sears up 4 places from where he started. Jacob Bradley is slowly losing that lead to Aaron Edwards. Edwards got half a tenth last time around. And lucky number 13 will turn into the final 12 when they cross the line. 1 1/4 seconds dwindles to 1 1/10. And back up to 1.15. Edwards is trying everything to get to Jacob Bradley. Let's go on board for a lap. .4 seconds now, the gap for the Mooresville, Indiana pilot, who comes into this 10th round with a 19-point advantage to car 15. Matt Seeger, 5.6 seconds in the distance. Richie Catania's gone off again at the bus stop. Oh, this is on the same lap, but this is turn 1. Comes in way too hot. And then right in front of Thomas Andrews, 24 car, gets a little hot. He'll slide on through, and Thomas Andrews says, go ahead and take that for myself. Jacob Bradley, 1.3 seconds ahead of the field. Aaron Edwards is the field in this case. Something does need to be said for this top 3, by the way. The gap from 1st to 3rd is 8 seconds, give or take. The gap from 3rd to 4th, 29 seconds. There's Aaron Edwards in that 4th position. The gap from 4th to 5th, 23 seconds. The Delta Sport drivers running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all trying to chase down this man right here, one Jacob Bradley. And he's not done yet. He still has work to do because Aaron Edwards will not leave him alone, as is his job. Bradley must defend. Edwards must attack. 9 at the line. .2 seconds as they cross the line. Aaron trying to stay within reaching distance. Meanwhile, Colin McDonough not able to catch up to Tom Sears. Catania's ahead, but that's not for position. Thomas Andrews doing his thing, running in the 8th spot. And he's the last car running of the 14 that started. Scoring pylon only shows 13, but that's my fault. Graphically speaking, I think this race has been a disaster, but that's because the graphics guy doesn't pay attention. We'll have to fire him and get another one. (7-7), by the way, between the Raiders and Broncos. There's 2:30 left to go in the first half. Raiders have the ball on, what, their own 38? Got trips on the top side of the screen. And I think they sacked the quarterback. Yeah. So it's going to be 4th down, and the Raiders are going to give the ball back to the Broncos with 2-some minutes to go, or are they going for it? We'll see. Does Aaron Edwards have a Hail Mary in his arsenal somewhere? Thomas Andrews on the outside of Tom Sears. Not for position. Andrews is just going to let his buddy go. The Season 4 Thursday Night Thunder champion, for those that know, being passed by the Seasons 1 and 3 Thursday Night Thunder champion. I'm sure you can find both of these cars. Maybe not these cars exactly, but I'm sure you can find these cars somewhere on Drip, Diecast, and Collectibles. By the way, he almost misses the pits. He's going to make it back. I was just going to talk about checking out Drip, Diecast, and Collectibles, but I think you're going to have to check them out online if they don't finish the race. Shout out to the folks at Drip, though. They have been holding us down for forever. Aaron Edwards trying to fly away. What happened to Jacob Bradley? How in the world did he get that close to him? Was it the lap traffic? Edwards, he's going to wreck the car trying to chase down Jacob Bradley. 0.3 of a second is the gap between them as they head into the bus stop. Things just got interesting with 6.5 to go. I would love to tell you what happened, but I genuinely have no idea how Aaron Edwards got that close. I think I was just that bored. Oh, no, let's go back here. We'll have to run this back several laps, but... Oh, Aaron Edwards is... You see, he almost... he was sliding the car coming out of the S's. He almost made contact with the wall. I think just almost an air of desperation sets into Aaron Edwards when he gets that close. And Jacob Bradley starts to pull away. But, of course, credit to Jacob Bradley. He's extremely fast, and there's more lapped traffic. We're not done yet. We'll have to go back several laps here. This is in the bus stop. But definitely, I think Jacob Bradley might have been caught up by the lap traffic. It was a massive gap here. Bradley slams on the brakes, and he does run wide. He misses the mark. Bradley misses the mark in a rare mistake for Jacob Bradley. Yeah, missed the apex under braking, saw it, had to run wide, and Aaron Edwards was there. But these are the kind of mistakes that we're talking about. This is why it's important. Even though Aaron Edwards isn't going to make that pass on every single lap, it's important that he's there, because if Jacob Bradley makes that mistake, Edwards will capitalize. Tom Sears kindly getting out of the way of this race for the lead. 0.6 is that gap. Four to go this time by. Edwards applying that pressure. Anyway, back to what we were saying about Drip, Diecast, and Collectibles before the leaders so rudely interrupted us. If you see any of those real-world throwbacks that you like, such as Richie Catania's and Tom Sears, there's the 24. There's the 18. Head on over to Drip Diecast and Collectibles. They're your #1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia and more. Drip Diecast and Collectibles on eBay. Go to eBay, search Drip Diecasts. You'll find them there. Your #1 store for NASCAR memorabilia. And we got to give them the code. TNT Season 11, by the way. Find yourself a gift, find a gift for somebody else, but when you use the code TNT Season 11, you get 10% off the whole store. Drip Diecast and Collectibles on eBay. TNT Season 11 for 10% off the whole store. Half a second, the gap. 3 circuits remain. Aaron Edwards continues to creep closer to the 5-0. Two and a half laps to go. Aaron Edwards needs to make a move. But he doesn't need to throw this race away. Matt Seeger also 12 seconds beyond them. If these two get tangled in some mess, the 16 will be there to clean up. Man, they run that car wide. You saw Briley Wright run into the grass, and that's what cost him that piece of his race car. Thomas Andrews goes off the track. And the 2 Drip Diecast machine coming out of the bus stop still keeps it in one piece. Ethan Winters, Thomas Andrews, both ran their fastest laps last time around. Seeger's gone around. What's going on with car number 16, the 3rd place driver, Matt Seeger? Coming to 2 to go. Oh, he just jumps on the rumble strips. Goes for a spin. No harm, no foul. He's still 33 seconds ahead of Ethan Winters. 0.8 of a second the gap. These are the kinds of races that you would expect a driver to pull away by 10, 11 seconds and win that race comfortably. That was Jacob Bradley last year. That is no longer the case for Jacob Bradley. It is not that easy. And even still, with a 19-point gap, he must work and he must be mistake-free. Aaron Edwards within 0.9 of a second as the white flag flies for Jacob Bradley. 2.5 miles to go. He can take it easy, but not too easy, that Edwards is still there. Any mistake for Jacob Bradley, Aaron Edwards will take that lead away from him. Can Edwards be risky and force a mistake out of the points leader? If he can pull this off, it will be his 5th victory this season. Nowhere near the number he was looking to hit, but it doesn't matter. He will extend this championship lead. From Mooresville, Indiana, looking to get his 2nd straight TNT championship, looking to take 5 wins into his home race at the Indy Oval. It's all coming up Jacob Bradley, he comes out of that final corner, bags another TNT victory. The points lead grows larger for car number 50. That's Matt Seeger coming home in the third position. So unofficially, it's Bradley, Edwards, Seeger. We're going to have them on the podium. Ethan Winters about to cross the line for the fourth position. And Tom Sears unofficially a lap down. The Southampton Mass driver rounds out the top five. So there's your winner for the fifth time in this Thursday Night Thunder campaign. We're going to grab him. We're going to grab Aaron Edwards, Matt Seeger, and we're going to put this one to bed. Let's let him burn the house down first. Back on the podium with our top three, Jacob Bradley, Aaron Edwards, Matt Seeger. As always, let's start with our bronze medalist, the Fort Valley Georgian. Matt, not often we get to talk to you on the podium, shotgun, but a good job nonetheless. At some point, there was a lot of strategy there, and you hanging with the top four says anything, considering the fact that it was a 36-second gap between the top three and the top four, and over almost a minute from fourth to fifth. So you hung in there all day.
Yeah, I thought we brought a really good unified potential and built some port, some shop, some Speed Race Factory, Monte Carlo. Yeah, I thought that it was pr pretty much where we needed to be in practice. We were the fastest in practice until the last couple seconds, I think. So yeah, we were in the ballpark with where we needed to be, and I was just riding there early after we got second from Aaron, and yeah, I was just riding, and I'm not really sure what happened. I still got to go back and watch the replay, but I clipped the curb on the last corner, like the exit of the last corner, wrong, and it just flung it into the outside fence and it killed the left front and it became a snowplow for the rest of the race. So that's my mistake. We had a car that could have won. So obviously can't have that, but super proud of the speed that we brought all season. I feel like we've been a lot closer this season than we have in season pasts to winning. So we just got to go and get one of these next few races. I mean, there's only a couple left, so we got to go get it.
A steady progression, man. We might see you. Who knows? We genuinely might see you on the top step of the podium next week at Indianapolis. Let's bring in your teammate real quick, our silver medalist, Aaron Edwards. Second again, Aaron, but you've been there. You were there the entire race, and but for one or two slips, again, you are going toe to toe, neck and neck with the defending champion. And now next week at his home track, that'd be an incredible place to get that win.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to next week. Hopefully, we can bring a little bit faster car. I don't know, man. The tires on this thing is just like you're running on bricks. So um, I'm glad that we eventually found some good long run speed. That first run was abysmal, um, but after we did a little bit of a short pit and had a good outlap, we were able to close that gap pretty well and at least hang with the P1. I'm glad to have back-to-back really good finishes in this race, but in both instances we were just one spot short. So um, thanks to the team, thanks to Delta Sport, Unified Potential, Sim Shop, but I don't know. We'll just try to get them next week.
Let's talk to the champ and our race winner, Jacob Bradley, going to your home race next week at Indianapolis, looking for the sixth victory of the season and one step closer to your second TNT title. You would only be the second driver to ever win a consecutive TNT championship, and now you are the only driver to win consecutive Watkins Glen races in the iRacing era. That goes all the way back to season 4. So longer season, shorter season, you're breaking down records left and right, and now you got to go do it again next week in Indianapolis.
Yeah, really excited for Indy next week. This car is a little bit finicky, so I'm probably not as excited as I otherwise would be. I gotta give a shout out to Goodyear for giving us the Goodyear rhombuses for this week. These things never fall off unless you spun them. So I was the idiot who spun them on the second run, but that first run, I just kind of rode my race, and they all just hung together. You could run fast laps left and right, and it was definitely drives weird. You have a full brake pedal until you suddenly don't. I pulled a 2007 Jeff Gordon off into one, threw away 9 seconds, but glad it made it interesting, and was glad to have a little battle there with Aaron at the end.
Let me ask you this, because the NASCAR fun has been completed, and we've said everything we've had to say about this race. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that, on the 18th, we're going to go IndyCar racing at Barber. Just a little 6-race shootout for IndyCars, just to have fun on Tuesday nights. Are you going to bring yourself to Winter Indy on Tuesdays?
There's a chance. I gotta make sure my schedule's open. My Tuesdays are pretty busy right now with school and work, but if we get an opening there, it looks like school's gonna calm down. Maybe you'll see me.
School and work is not important, Jacob Bradley. Racing Indy cars on Tuesday night for absolutely no reason is fun. Same question. I'm going to pose the question to the Delta Sport guys on the podium, Aaron and Matt. Indy cars Tuesday night. Bring your Delta Sport. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to drive an Indy car, so let's do it.
All right, we're going to see you Tuesday the 18th at Barber, Winter Indy Season 3. We're going to do it for Dale because it's Season 3. Why not? So stick around for that. That's going to start on the 18th, but we got to take care of Indianapolis first. So that's going to be November the 13th, Thursday the 13th, next week, right here, Rick James TV. Talladega in 2 weeks. We start the IndyCar fun in between that. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be even more fun next week. You know how we do it. Until that next race, everybody, take care, stay safe. We'll see you all around the corner.